Ms Legalista, aka Attorney Shelia here. Just when you thought your jobs were safe, maybe you have a union contract or an employment contract, maybe you're getting ready to retire and you think you've racked up those years, you're good to go. Well, there's a new article that's talking about AI, Chat GPT, how all of this technology is going to influence jobs. Now, it says it's not going to. I think things are very different. As an attorney, let's talk about some of these employment law issues related to AI. Will you still have a job? I don't know.
Yeah.
I want to look at this article that came in my email. It's on Fast Company. And, I read the title and I thought, okay, let me check this out, right? Generative AI will change the world, but won't put creative jobs at risk. And my first thinking was, what world do you live in? I think it should have broken this down a little bit better. The title really doesn't capture it because I definitely think it will put creative jobs at risk. How do I know? How do I know? Because it's already doing so. Remember that movie, and I can't even remember the name of it. Remember the movie with Tom Hanks? It was a Christmas movie. They were on that train, and even though the people portraying the characters that you see in the movie are real, there are real people. The movie is not showing us real people, right? It's showing us a computerized version of those people. That was one of the first steps in taking people completely out of the picture. Right now, you can see models in clothes you want to try on, eyewear you want to try on. One of the things that I've been looking at doing is trying to figure out how to create more content, but not having to do it all by myself. And that's where Chat GPT comes in. And this is not some sort of commercial or sponsorship or anything like that. But you guys, let's go back to this article and talk about it because I think people need to be prepared for what this is going to look like, and they need to be prepared sooner rather than later. It says again, this is from Fast Company, generative AI will change the world but won't put creative jobs at risk. Well, let's see exactly what they're talking about here because I differ with this to some extent. It says the mind bending new technology will function like an industrial revolution for creativity, allowing brands to move faster and get better results. Okay, that's the brand. I'm talking about people, the workers, the people who have to have jobs in order to buy food, feed families, have a roof over their head. Some people worry that artificial intelligence will make us feel inferior. I don't really care about that. I don't. Does anybody care about artificial tools making us feel inferior? Like, I wish I had a calculator right here. I don't feel inferior to a calculator. My mind was not created to be able to function like a calculator does. Yes, we can do some of the same equations in our heads. 1 plus 1 equals 2. There are a lot of these that we can do pretty fast. We've learned that, but no, I'm not a calculator. I don't expect to be a calculator. And so I'm not going to be feeling inferior because I'm not a calculator. It says, but then anybody in his right mind should have an inferior complex every time he looks at a flower. Yeah, okay, I'm not even going to go there. According to a recent survey, 69% of college graduates in the US believe that AI will replace them at work or make them irrelevant within the next few years. 69%. You guys, that that's a lot of people. We're talking about almost 70% of graduates feel that AI is going to be the thing and not them. And they may be right. Let's go back just in time for a little bit. I am old enough to remember when my parents would pull up at a gas station. We used to call them filling stations. Anybody remember? Actually, we would drop the G depending upon where you lived in the US. And it was a filling station. You drive up and they fill it up. They would wash your windows, they would your windshield, they would check your oil. They would do those things for you when you pulled up at the filling station. Now, not so much. Now you do it all yourself, right? It's self-service. It's a self-service pump as opposed to a full service gas station. Remember, there used to be a difference out there. I don't know how many of you actually remember this. Some of you may be younger and be like, well, dag, I didn't know they did that. Or, yeah, I think I heard about that. But that's the way things used to be. Taking my daughter to the dentist, it got to the point where she didn't walk up to the counter and check in. You know, you walk in, you let them know you're there. They're like, great, you may have to fill out a couple of forms. Nope. You go to a computer, you check yourself in. You check yourself in. You all know you go to the grocery store now, you're trying to figure out whether or not you want to go to the cashier because you got to look at five or six of them and get an understanding of which one's moving fast and which one's looking like she needs a break because she's already been working 6 or 7 hours and we're not going in that line. And so you say, hey, I'm going to go the self service route because they got self checkout over here. So now we do self checkout. Back in the day, you didn't self checkout. You didn't even bag your own groceries. There were baggers that was specifically their job to bag groceries and to help take the groceries out to the car. Those were the days. I don't know that I ever really experienced having someone take my groceries to my car for me. But those were the days when you got that kind of assistance when you went to the grocery store. Now, not so much. You can get help if you need it, but there are carts. There are carts. You put all of your bags in a cart and you roll those groceries out there. Nobody does that for you. So technology has definitely made a difference in terms of what kind of jobs are available for people. So, very rarely are you only going to see a person who bags now. They have multiple roles in a grocery store. Very rarely are you going to pull up at just your regular gas station and people come out. No, gas stations aren't even made like that anymore. You used to have where you could pull in. I mean, you could get that vehicle gassed. Like I said, they clean the windows for you. They check the oil, and if you had a problem, guess what? You could pull up right over there because they had mechanics and they could work on your vehicle for you. That's not how gas stations are today. Gas stations are convenience stores with pumps out front. That's what they are. They're mini grocery stores where you can go in and get your alcohol, get your chips for the road, hot mozzarella sticks, hot dogs, cookies, and get back on the road. The gas pumps are just an extra, okay? But they're really convenience stores. So that whole model has changed. So anybody who's thinking that AI is not going to come in and start to replace things, they're not being prepared. You guys, you got to get prepared here. As an attorney, I'm telling you already, you already know that across this country, most jobs are at will, meaning you can choose to leave that job at any time, or your employer can choose to terminate you at any time, as long as that termination is not against the law. There is no, you gotta stay. And people go, oh, but I have to give 2 weeks notice. So that's a requirement. Well, in most cases, no, it's not. That's a professional courtesy. That's something that they ask for. And that's something that we usually provide. It's sort of understood that you will give at least a few weeks notice. In some cases, if you are in a higher up position, you may need to give more notice than that. But it's an at will job. You can be fired at any time. They say, oh, well, we're making some changes. Sorry. There are some laws in place where if you're firing, if you're having a mass layoff, you hit a certain threshold. Yes, you have to provide certain notices and there are some other requirements there. But generally speaking, your job is not guaranteed. Your job is rarely guaranteed. So again, if you're thinking that AI is really not going to impact you, you need to be thinking about what kind of position you're in and how AI might change your profession. As an attorney, I'm just going to say that our profession has changed a lot with technology because people can now go online, find out a lot of information for themselves. There's some things that attorneys used to do that now people can do. It's self-help, self-help, self-checkout in terms of legal services now. There are packets of information sometimes that courts have set up for you in order for you to be able to help yourself navigate the system because guess what? Everyone can't afford an attorney, right? So let's talk about some of these jobs that may be going away. I myself have already started looking at some things that, I want to change, right? So I sometimes write blog articles and things of that nature. Well, now I'm looking at using Chat GPT. How can I use Chat GPT to help me with that? And I can increase my turnaround faster. I don't necessarily have to hire someone to write articles or do research. So the crux of this article is that AI is not going to be having that big of effect here. It says, first off, let's agree that generative AI is changing the very nature of creativity. Okay. Automating content, AI models can automatically create articles, blogs, and social media posts. This is Jasper. Look at how much money Jasper raised. It can improve quality, increase variety, personalize content. Part of it is the creation part of it, the creation part of it, the execution part of it. That's the part where I think you're going to see the biggest impact here. Now I can just go over here and it can create it for me. But the execution, the carrying out of the idea is what has to come from us. So if you're thinking about where I might have some weaknesses in terms of this new AI taking over, well, let's talk about it. I already told you, legal services. I mean, the ability to be able to have people type in what their legal dilemma is for a particular judicial district to say, where do I need to go? What time do I need to go? What documents do I need to bring? Where are the documents? Fill out the documents online, submit them to the court. You don't now need an attorney to help you do those documents because they have put together a process online using some sort of chatbot. And now all of that is more readily available to people who actually need it. So, what do I need an attorney for? Well, to maybe sort of advise me about strategy and things of that nature. But you know what? I could probably research strategies too. It's the thinking through and figuring out which one might be the best for me that I would then need an attorney for. But my profession, yeah, definitely. What about, and I've got a whole list of them, what about teaching? Remember during COVID, because that really should have taught us some lessons about where education is going online. It used to be, oh, well, you have to be in a classroom because you have to have the social learning aspect to help young minds develop and grow. And I agree to that. But is the classroom the only place that they can get that? Do they need to be there Monday through Friday, 8 to 4 to get that? Or can there be another way that we introduce the social learning aspect to teaching alongside of an AI virtual or remote learning aspect of this? It's a lot to think about. There are pros and cons to all of this. I'm definitely not saying that AI and that remote learning is the best way to go here. What I'm saying is it has already started. It is going to continue to grow. Then there are all of these other questions that come into play. Who's going to benefit? Who's going to lose because they're not prepared and ready for this? And that's what I'm talking to you about. How do you get ready for this? How do you get ready for this? And maybe you're close to retirement, but what about your children? What about your grandchildren, nieces and nephews, your families? How do they get ready for a world where AI becomes a bigger status quo than it is now? I think a lot of us aren't prepared. What about design? Design, again, anything around creating, execution, it can come up with a lot of that. Artificial intelligence, programming, coding, all of those things can be turned into just a series of steps, a model that then carries something out, and then there goes your job. There goes your job. Your job is gone. Remember, I told you you were at will anyway, unless you had a contract. There goes your job. It's gone. Get ready for movies and models to be replaced. Real people gone. And now we just have virtual actors and actresses. You guys, I'm not a big animated movie kind of person. I am not. But I'm telling you, there's probably going to be a whole category at some point in time alongside of animation. It's going to be this whole AI piece because I do think that they're different. So yeah, it says Google, Meta, Adobe, and Salesforce are all building in-house generative AI. So that's where the jobs are, okay? Whoever is building these systems and knows how to use these systems, those are the people who are going to be the ones that are the leaders in this space, are the ones who reap the rewards from this. This last part says, but it isn't here to replace us. The invention of the keyboard hasn't stopped the use of pens. Right. Tell it to the people who don't write letters anymore. How many people have you seen that write handwritten letters anymore? Yes, the pen is still here. I love a good pen. I love a really good pen. I like them to have some mass to them when I'm writing. But you guys, I'm telling you, there are 14 to 16 million workers who are covered by unions, it's estimated. What good is that coverage going to do us if the jobs are no longer there? If we now can ride a vehicle up onto the ramp, like all of this is automated now. Robotics comes in, AI comes in to do the assessment. So the need hasn't changed, but the way that the work is done has changed. So workers have to now learn a different set of skills alongside of probably the skills they already have too. Like those aren't really going away, but it's all sort of changing. I'm telling you, I disagree with the article. I think we need to be prepared for more AI, telling people to get your skills up to par, be thinking about how this is going to impact your children's future, not just when they get jobs, but in terms of learning, especially if they're young ones and they're just starting out now. We don't know what this world is going to look like 5 or 6 years from now. So you got a baby born this year. By the time they're hitting kindergarten, yeah, we're wondering what that learning is going to look like in those preschool classes. In those preschool classes. That's it. That's it. That's it for me. Yeah, I think I'm done. Mwah. Don't forget to subscribe, thumbs up, peace.